Hey, there you are. Hey, it's Pete at Pete's Snake Bite Kit. Hey, thanks for coming back and checking out my YouTube channel again. If this is your first time here, what this is about is a journal of me building my replica AC Cobra. This is something I've been wanting to do for decades, literally, and pretty excited about actually getting started on it. I bought a kit from Hurricane Motorsports in Iowa. Got to my house just a couple weeks ago. I don't have everything on it, and that's kind of what this video is about, is what I don't have, what I do have, a little bit more of that, and some realities of just building a car. That's what I'm trying to cover, is what would it be like if you were building one of these? What's the fun stuff? What's the frustrating stuff? And so on. So stay tuned, take a look. Okay, so we've had the car for a couple weeks now, and this is a little bit of an update on what's going on, right? So early on I did one, just kind of a general inventory of what I got with the kit and so on, and as you guys saw, there was some stuff missing due to really just COVID related realities. Last video I showed you what we were missing, and it was everything on this wall. This was stuff that I still need. Hurricane was able to get me the correct ball joints that we needed. There's some specialty fasteners to hold the hood scoop on, got those. Some lock nuts for the suspension, the transmission brakes, you'll see that in a few minutes, and then the headlight hardware, the buckets and trim and so on. This is my list, so the dash, I got that covered. I want to show you that in a few minutes. Still waiting on some things, kind of thought process wise. I was thinking internal fuel pump or external, decided on external and got that, so that's here. Nossinger, still waiting for the Lucas ammeter. As I told you on an earlier video, I'm using the original Smith gauges that came on the car, and it came with a Lucas ammeter. When I got shipped all of those, that one was swapped out for a fuel gauge. I don't know why. So they're waiting for that to come from England and then get it to me. Some other stuff from Hurricane, got the hinges. Got the door pockets, got the sun visors, got the wind wings, got the knockoff kit, which you guys saw. I think those look pretty sweet. And so, you know, chiseling away on that list. Now here's a reality here. I'll show you in a few minutes kind of a shot of the garage. I'm a little bit glad I don't have everything, because we're at critical mass in Pete's garage, and my wife's car is outside right now, and I got to get it fitting back inside because it's kind of chilly to be leaving her car outside. So what I've done is I put the car in between my build area and where my wife's parking area is. So what I've got here is the car body. There's a front subframe sitting underneath it. You can see the black frame there, and then the tub is in there, and then underneath the trunk area there's a trunk tub also, so that's sitting there. So that gets me to where put the Explorer back in the garage. So that's a good thing, keeps me out of trouble. So then back to my part of the garage, there's a scary looking pile of wires there. There's a pile of boxes there, more boxes there, more boxes there, and I'm missing still some major components that we had talked about. Still don't have the side pipes, and don't have the headers, don't have the third member and the axles and the rotors and brakes and stuff. But you can see it pretty much uses up a garage. So if you're planning to build one of these, best to have some room, boys and girls. So here's a quick walk around on this, let you know what I do have done so far. You can see how the A-arms are built. This is kind of cool. So, you know, these will adjust. They'll spin, which will set the caster and the camber. Of course, the toe set off of the tie rod end down there. Don't have rotors, don't have calipers or any of that. Those are coming from Weld Wheel. Alex at Hurricane says they're on back order. I looked on Summit at the same part number. They're on back order. They don't have them, right? So that's what's going on, and nothing we can do about that right now. Hey, a viewer the other day, thank you, said, hey, you got to get those rags out from underneath your jack stands and get rubber pads. On that day, after I saw that comment, I actually bought those on the way home from work. I was thinking about doing that. I'm really glad that he mentioned that. But you can see we got this thing bolted in. I've got the plug wires done up. They're kind of long. The first go around, I like to leave them a little bit long if I've got to change things or whatnot. I'll probably shorten those up later once I get the headers on and see how everything works. But, you know, I've got the starter in. this starter is one of those kinds where you can actually rotate it almost infinitely to where you need it to be. So got it in there, moved it around to where it clears the frame and so on. You can see the lower control arms are tubular. There's some spacers that go in here I haven't found yet, or I didn't get them. I've still got to get that figured out. So that stuff is really just mocked up. See the trans sitting in here. There's the X brace I was missing the other day, and they got that to me. It came back from powder coat. See the quality of the powder coat on this. I think they do a real good job. It's got a 3-link rear suspension, and I've got that all in. None of that set up yet. I haven't torqued anything. I purposely, on something like this, I leave the bolts loose so that I know they're not torqued until I go back and make sure everything's where I want it and torque them down and mark them all. Hey, you guys saw this a few months ago. I showed you when I visited Hurricane, and this was a rusty frame sitting in the shop with my HM 2029 on it. Now, there it is powder coated sitting in my garage. Here's what it looks like from the other side. We've got the 3 master cylinders just sitting in there. I haven't tightened those down. I need to, of course, build hard lines for those and so on. But that's what it looks like with the bare frame, most of the suspension, and the engine and trans sitting in there. All right, here's what the dashboard looks like. I got that covered shop not far from me called Bob's Top Shop in Sandy, Utah. Did this, maybe a really good deal on it. It's leather, had a very reasonable price on it. I really appreciate what they did. I got most of the gauges in there. This one here, obviously that's missing. That's where the ammeter goes, that Lucas ammeter that they haven't gotten to me yet. So that'll be coming at some point. We'll plug that one in. I've got a indicator light here. I haven't been able to find yet in my stuff from Hurricane. It may be in a box somewhere. I don't have the ignition switch in yet. Haven't put that in. I'll probably leave that out when I start this in a mock-up and have the ignition switch so I can have it in my hand to start this thing. But that's what the dash looks like. Over on the back. And then I'll have a wire loom that's just for the dash, the way Haywire set this up, and then that will plug into the main wire loom, which is kind of sad. I'll show you that later when I'm doing more wiring. There's the dash. Okay, the other thing I got was the build manual, and it just came a loose leaf, which is fine, but I went ahead and put it in a folder and protective sheet so I won't get my greasy fingers all over it. But a couple hundred pages, a lot of detail in it, and it gives you kind of a path to follow. So pretty well laid out. Looks like it's actually on and done off an earlier car they made. So they said they had an updated one coming. Maybe they'll get that. But this one's going to work just fine. And the other thing I got with that was manufacturer statement of origin. I mentioned to you guys earlier that these vehicles don't come with a VIN, a vehicle identification number, because it's not a vehicle. It's actually car parts is the way the DMV looks at it, until you take that and show them that the thing's roadworthy and so on, and they generate a VIN so you can call it a car and get it insured and so on. Okay, so there you have it, a little rundown of where we're at right now and how things are coming along. You're probably wondering, and I've been asked this by almost every single person I've talked to about this project, is how long is it going to take you to get this thing running, Pete? And I really don't know. I've never done this before. I've done a lot of work on cars over the years, and I'm not intimidated by it at all, but it's a lot to do. But here's the deal. I am not going to say go until I have all the parts. In other words, I am going to make an estimate that I think once I have everything in my hands, I think I could get this thing running, excluding paint, in 6 to 8 months. And I may be being way too optimistic, but I'm not counting the time that I'm standing here treading water while I don't have, major components. So once I do get all those parts, I'm going to say go. and then kind of see really how long this takes me. And I'm not going to rush through this. As you guys know, I've been wanting to do this forever, and so I'm not going to be taking any shortcuts. I'm not going to be doing things poorly to try and get it done, but I just don't see this as a very intimidating project as far as just making it happen. So that's my thoughts on going forward with this. Thank you for watching this. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. We're starting to see some stuff actually happen here, so stay with me. There's more to come.